Hello everyone, this is Erik, the Asian movie enthusiast, and this is my review of Love Forecast, a South Korean romantic comedy from 2015. A weather reporter named Hyun-woo, played by Chae-won Moon, is known for her beauty and elegance on television, but off-screen, she drinks and swears a lot. Now for the last 18 years, she has been friends with Joon-soo, played by Seung-gi Lee, a mild-mannered elementary school teacher who gives too much of himself in his relationships, but always ends up getting dumped. Joon-soo has secretly loved Hyun-woo for years, but she doesn't feel any sexual attraction between them, and he's had to stand by for a while and watch while she fawns over a number of different men, like a married colleague that he works with, and she recently goes on a blind date with a photographer. So those are her recent love interests, and he's just kind of idling by while he attempts to do his own thing as well, but it's not really working. Now, I mentioned before in my review of Mood of the Day, which also starred Chae-won Moon, there are two reasons why I chose to watch Love Forecast, and they're the same two reasons I chose to watch Mood of the Day. Number one, it's a South Korean romantic comedy. And number two, it stars Chae-won Moon. That's all I need. Who is most well known for her K-dramas. She's kind of a K-drama queen, with appearances in The Painter of Wind, which is very good, Brilliant Legacy, which is very good, My Fair Lady, which I really enjoyed, Good Doctor, which was good, and some others. But she also starred in the fun action film War of the Arrows, so she's got a pretty good resume, I guess you could say, that she's built. I really like her charisma and her screen presence. I'll watch her in anything. But I am falling behind on some of her television work of recent years. I need to rectify that in the future. So if I see any more good stuff with her, I'll let you know. She's a lot of fun to watch in Love Forecast. Within the opening 10 minutes, she won me over. A very energetic and charming performance, I think. Now, the first time I remember seeing Seung-gi Lee was in the K-drama Brilliant Legacy. And I've got to be honest with you. I've liked this guy in everything I've seen him in so far. I like him. Whether it's My Girlfriend is a Nine-Tailed Fox, which I really enjoyed, The King Two Hearts, which I really enjoyed, or Goo Family Book, which was also good. I think he does a good job, and I look forward to seeing him in more stuff. Now, is he an elite actor like a Min-sik Choi? No, but not every actor needs to be elite, right? He has headlined some really entertaining stuff, so gotta give him credit. And I liked him in Love Forecast. He does a good job portraying a guy who just cannot hold a relationship together. It always seems like he breaks up with a girl before their 100-day anniversary in this film, which is pretty rough. You know what I mean? And he's having difficulty understanding why all this stuff is going down, and he's properly cast in a role like that, I think. Now, like most romantic comedies, Love Forecast lives and breathes by the casting of its two leads. And in this case, they're fun to watch and have more than enough chemistry to make this work. Now, the last rom-com I reviewed with Chae-won Moon, as I mentioned, was Mood of the Day, which was a bit unconventional in its pacing and use of cheating on significant others. Love Forecast is more of a conventional romantic comedy from South Korea, in my opinion, which is actually a pretty good thing in most cases. However, I would say that all of the romantic relationships in this film are portrayed as like lackadaisical, messy, and flawed. You know what I mean? Even our two leads have a relationship that's not easily defined during the second half of the film. Like, they pass through a certain barrier that should lead to instant romance, but it doesn't really go that way. You know what I mean? Instead, it kind of stays trapped as like a murky, undefined relationship as they kind of sift their way through their love lives. Now, I can see how some viewers might interpret that as like a lack of focus in the script writing department, but I actually kind of like that aspect of the film. It has a certain, realism to it. You know what I mean? That relationships in real life aren't that well-defined a lot of the time. So there's a constant presence of outside love interests in this film from start to finish, which makes for some good interaction as well as some tension. Now, Love Forecast is essentially a cinematic representation of the fishbowl scenario, which can be a real-life occurrence. So a particular woman has her guy friends, who, if presented as fish, swim around in a large fish tank. But then you have a guy, or guys, who she has a more romantic relationship with. And those men, if presented as fish, swim around in a little fishbowl. Little fishbowl. So if a fishy in the fish tank wants to get into the little fishbowl, he's got to leap from one to the next. Problem is that in between the big fish tank and the little fishbowl is a toilet. So if you fall short, your butt's getting flushed down the drain. And that's how it works, right? So that's essentially the male lead situation in a nutshell. If he makes the leap and is unsuccessful, he may not be able to make it back to the fish tank. So that's the premise. And the comedy in this film is mostly grounded and works well. Casting is a big reason for that. I thought this film was genuinely funny in spots and entertaining. Now, in terms of flaws, this does use some typical romantic comedy tropes and is fairly predictable at certain points. Also the aforementioned messiness of the relationships may turn some people off, since there's really no linear progression in terms of romantic development in this film. Love Forecast is not an elite romantic comedy. It does lack the depth of a My Sassy Girl. It lacks the script writing genius of a Couples, you know what I mean? But it's certainly a good time. It's a good time. I have it in my personal collection and plan on rewatching it again in the future. It is available on Region 3 DVD with English subtitles. It's also available streaming on Viki.com. And as always, I'll see you next time.